What's up?
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys haven't already, please smash that like button, subscribe, and then click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video so you guys can check out the cool content. So today I filmed a pull workout with my boy Bobby. He was in through the majority of the workout. He had to peace out a little bit early because he had been at the gym for an hour until I got there. Um, but here, all we're doing is basically these by no means are these deadlifts working sets whatsoever. This is practically a warm up for the exercises ahead and to also just get the movement of deadlifts down and practice my form because I do not do a lot of deadlifts. If you guys know me personally, you know that I had a lumbar spinal fusion L5S1 vertebrae. So I do not do deadlifts a lot. I do different variations to work similar muscle groups that deadlifts would work, but it's just a safe thing to stay away from. Plus conventional deadlifts, as you can see that we're warming up with. If you go extremely heavy, is very hard on your erectors in your back, which are right near the lumbar spine, which can be really, really hard on someone's back, like mine, especially if you've already had a serious injury like that. Um, but basically, all we did was we warmed up with just the bar, one plate each side, and then we threw on two. Only doing 5 to 8 reps here, for roughly 3 to 4 sets, I think. Might have done a little more sets than that, but nothing crazy by no means. These are working sets, and just getting the movement down and practicing of sitting into the deadlift as I drive up, practicing my form, so I'm able to implement these in my pull days without hurting my back. Um, One thing too, at the end of this video, guys, please stay tuned, especially if you're one who is trying to lose body fat and don't really know where to start. I go over 5 key components that you guys should know and should be doing to lose body fat. One thing I do want to mention, I forgot to mention this at the end of the video, so I apologize, but I'll just go over it now. Basically, people wonder how much protein you should be getting a day if you're active, and that answer is you want to be getting zero point 0.8 to a gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. So, for example, myself, I weigh 200 pounds. I roughly try to get 200 grams of protein or more a day. Um, so that's where you guys want to shoot around for sure, especially when you're trying to lose body fat and you're in the gym roughly 3 to 5 days a week. Um, but yeah, here, this is actually my first time um, doing sets with sumo. I never did. So I was huge in deadlifting in high school. Absolutely loved it. I would squat and deadlift heavy every week, which wasn't a good idea. That is definitely one reason why that I had a fusion, was just not enough rest and overworking my body. But here, I'm just trying to get comfortable with it. Again, sitting back into the deadlift when when our on our concentric movement. Um, One key thing here too, guys, if you are getting into deadlifts, if you're already deadlift, um, make sure when you're doing, especially when you're doing a sumo, that you're not just sitting into the movement, but the angle that your knees and feet are, your knees are basically traveling across the center of your foot when you're pulling the weight, and same thing on the eccentric movement. Um, this is just going to make sure you're going to be targeting your glutes and your adductors and hamstrings more, and it just feels 10 times smoother than trying to keep your feet straight um, and have that wide stance. Because if you have your feet straight in a wide stance, it's going to feel extremely awkward and weird. That's definitely why I didn't do it much in high school. I tried it one time in high school and it felt incredibly awkward, and that's just because my form was incorrect. So, in other words, form can go a long way, so make sure you're doing it correctly. Um, my boy Bobby here, he hopped in this pull day with me. He had been at the gym roughly an hour before I was, so he just hopped in, um, get some good sets in with deadlifts, just working on the form, trying to get better so he can hit some PRs. I think he hit a PR a few weeks ago, so shout out to my man Bobby. He's also a fellow YouTuber and he is on Instagram as well, so I will throw both of those in the description below. So give my man some love. You'll definitely see me and him in videos in the future. Kid's only 18 and he's like 230 pounds and freaking like 6'9". No, I'm kidding. He's not 6'9", but he's about 6'2", 6'3". Dude's an animal. Um, but yeah, we roughly did 3 to 4 sets here. Might have done 5. Um, Again, not working sets, just getting the movement down. Screen went black there for a second. But yeah, really, really great way to just start the pull workout. Got nice and warm, got a good sweat going. And as you guys can see too, I forgot to mention this. In the background, you saw me and Bobby do a few core movements. The reason being is because um, during deadlifts, squats, or compound movements, you really want to contract your core on your concentric movement, or just in general when you're performing these movements, because that is huge. If you lack um, core strength or stability during these movements, that can cause really bad back problems. Hence why I had a fusion in high school. Definitely, probably could have been doing more core back then, along with all the heavy lifting. Um, but yeah, that is going to be the deadlift session at the beginning of the workout there. First working exercise of this workout is just going to be some wide grip pull-ups. We hit 3 to 4 sets of roughly 8 to 12 reps here. So making sure we get that full stretch at the bottom, keeping the scapula retracted. So basically pretending there's a pencil back there, pinching it and engaging the lats as much as possible. Really here just trying to work on the width. For me, genetically, I've never had the widest back. Thickness, I've never really had a terrible problem with. My back could definitely be more thick. But at the same time, if you saw a picture of me flexing my lats now versus like a year and a half, 2 years ago, it is an immense difference. I still don't think my back is extremely wide, but I've came a long freaking way from where I used to be. But yeah, so as you guys can see here soon, Bobby, he's doing roughly 5 to 6 reps. He personally said that pull-ups have never been a strong suit, and you notice that I help him at the end of the movement. So I know a lot of people think, oh, he should be doing the work. He's not getting anything out of it, but that's actually incorrect. So, he's getting those 5 to 6 reps, but let's say he got those 5 to 6 reps and tried to go for a couple more, where it was just him trying to do the movement, and he was just, using his body and swinging himself up, versus me helping him, and while I'm helping him, he's using the correct muscle groups and technique to perform the pull up. That's going to go a lot farther than him just swinging his body up. As you can see, he's engaging his lats still keeping the scapula retracted and utilizing his lats in the right muscle groups. Um, so yeah, definitely a recommendation if you guys are on like your last few sets and you're really not getting the weight. Um, have your training partner spot you. Make sure they're not doing all the work, but giving a resistance enough so you're able to work those muscle groups enough to get a contraction and get good blood flow in that area. So you're not just swinging your shit up there. Your form is absolutely shit. So yeah. Let's see here. Next workout. We did some row variations with the mag grip. Basically, we started with either underhand or overhand. It didn't really matter which one you start with. Um, but right here, really focusing on squeezing at the end here. Almost a 1 second pause, I'd say. Here, this is going to be working on the lower back thickness. Um, Again, usually, so basically, when you guys are doing back movements, where you're pulling down, you're usually going to be working your width. When you're doing a row variation, that's going to be working more thickness of the back. And as you can see here, flipping it over, and here I felt this exercise more in my lower traps and upper part of my back and in my lats. So I really, really like this variation. We performed 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps each. So 8 to 12 reps underhand, 8 to 12 reps overhand. And here's Big Bobby getting at it. And then we actually did this with a superset. We supersetted this with wide grip lat pull downs. And I know some of you thinking, well, we already did wide grip pull ups, but again, just trying to get as wide as possible. Really trying to work those lats to get that wide back. So yeah, here's Bobby's going overhand. Again, for this same movement too at the top, try to really squeeze your scapula pretend there is a pencil back there or a dollar bill. Um, that's kind of a good reference that I like to make when training. And then moving on to the lat pull downs. Here especially too, I mean, just like when I said with pull-ups, I know I'm repeating myself over and over again, but I see a lot of people make the mistake of completely stretching out their scapula to the point where like there's no contraction between the shoulder blades. Um, if you guys do this, and let's say you've never, done it this way, you've always just stretched out your scapula the whole time when performing these kind of workouts, really try to just throw on some lighter weight, just like Bobby is here, and focus on keeping that scapula contracted and you really working the lats. As you can see, he's getting a really good squeeze with his lats as of right now. He definitely said it was a game changer too, so my man Bobby getting wide AF. Here we're moving on to the ISO low row here. Really like this machine. I supersetted this with the high row right next to it right there. I did a different variation. You guys will see this. Bobby had to peace out at this point. And then my man Carlos actually jumped into the workout with me. It was pretty convenient because we were both doing back and doing relatively the same exercises. So he hopped in with me. Always love having a training partner. Always get that extra push. Here I did 8 to 10 reps, pause reps at the top, pause for 1 to 2 seconds, really getting that blood flow in there, feeling that squeeze, that good mind muscle connection. And here's Carlos on the high row. Um, so I took a video from behind, but as you guys can see from that last clip, it was super, super dark because of how light it was outside. So I got a side shot of this, and so basically, as you see Carlos, he's kind of at an angle, has his chest where his sternum's at on the front pad, and he's at an angle, so he's pulling down and really squeezing his lats. That's also going to help out with lat thickness and width. And then we moving on. I posted this on my story a few days ago. I really, 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 really like this movement. Dumbbell lat pullovers. So there's different variations. A lot of people were wondering or asked me, they're like, Gabe, doesn't this work your chest? And the answer is yes, but that is if you are pausing like right above your nose or eyes with the dumbbell and squeezing the top of your chest here. It's all lats. As you can see, I'm trying to go back as far as I possibly can to get that good lat stretch, and then coming out and contracting as hard as I can once I get right near the bottom part of my chest. We did 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps with this, and then we supersetted that with the pec deck rear flies. And as you can see here on the next movement, pec deck rear flies, um, what I like to do personally, a lot of people like to sit in the seat with their back straight in a neutral position um, and do these, but for me, I feel it a lot more, and I feel like everyone would feel it a lot more if they did this at an angle when your chest is on the pad, really squeezing those rear delts when you go back there. Because I used to do it when I just sat straight up, sitting basically facing the machine like you see me right now, but actually sitting on the seat there. And I felt it, but it kind of hurt my shoulders, and I didn't really get much of a contraction compared to then. Moving on to biceps, I was at the gym for a very long time, so I only had time to do like two or three bicep workouts. So here we got the arm blaster, and we are just doing alternating curls with the 30s. I'm gonna call myself out here. So as you guys can see, I'm not rotating or internally rotating my pinky each time I do a curl. So definitely do that. I did notice that after I took this video, and I definitely did utilize that the rest of the sets. But that's going to give your bicep the maximum squeeze at the top. So make sure you guys are doing that when you're hitting any sort of curl variation with dumbbells. Here was the burnout. My camera died, so I didn't get the superset I was doing. I was doing like supersets with hammer curls with like 15s or 20s just for high reps. Here I did a 35 rep burnout. Shout out to Ant Levine or Ant Gains on Instagram. As you guys can see here on this workout, this one is excellent for the peak of the bicep. These straight arm preacher curls are killer. So I did 35 reps each arm to burn out, and that was the end of my workout. Alrighty guys, what is up? Thank you guys for tuning the video once again. I know I always say it, I sound like a broken record, but if you haven't already, please like this video, throw down a comment in the comment section below. I think I'm a pretty cool guy. Hopefully you guys think so too, so say some nice things. If not, you can say some mean things. I really don't care. But anyways, so as you guys see from the title of this video, we're gonna go 5 key things you guys should be doing if you're trying to lose body fat. So we'll start with number 1. Find your maintenance calories. So when I say this, there's tons and tons of websites online. I think bodybuilding.com has one. Literally all you do, go to Google, type in maintenance calorie calculator or macro calculator. Usually they both complement one another. So you will see pretty much your maintenance calories and your macros set for those amount of calories in the same website usually. So basically you're going to want to find your maintenance calories. You'll be plugging in your height, your weight. You're going to type in your sex, your birthday, all that good stuff, and it'll give you your maintenance calories. And basically what you will do is you'll subtract roughly 500 calories from your maintenance calories because for us, in order for us to lose body fat, we must be consuming less calories than we burn a day. So that's number 1, finding your maintenance calories, subtracting 500 from it, and then you roughly know where you should be starting off at. Usually I don't recommend to track macros like all the time, 24/7, 365. The only reason I'd recommend for people to start tracking them who are trying to lose body fat is so you guys get an idea of what types of foods you need to eat and portion control throughout the day, so you guys kind of have an idea. Because after roughly 3 to 4 weeks of you guys tracking, you guys will know, what to eat, when to eat, and how much of it to eat. So basically, tracking your food basically just gives you a better idea of how much you need to be eating and the portions. So yeah. Number 2, every meal should consist of a good amount of high quality lean protein and complex carbohydrates. So we'll start with protein because there's a lot of misconceptions on protein. So protein itself, protein you need to necessarily recover muscle and help bring back muscle tissue back healthier and stronger. Protein itself does not build muscle. For you to build muscle, you need an excessive amount of calories, carbohydrates, fats, all that stuff, just really calorically dense. But we're trying to lose body fat, so the reason you're increasing your protein is because when you're trying to lose body fat, you want to try to maintain as much skeletal muscle or muscle as possible. The reason being is you don't want that strength to go down, and the more muscle you have, the more calories you guys actually burn at rest. So let's say as you increase muscle, your resting metabolism rate will actually increase as well. So in saying that, protein is huge because it's going to keep you fuller longer and help you maintain muscle and strength throughout the time you're trying to cut body fat. Complex carbs are important because they're more fibrous for your body. They take longer to digest, so that's the reason it's going to make you feel fuller longer, and it's going to give you extended periods of release of energy. Basically, perfect examples of those, you're going to be seeing oatmeal, quinoa, sweet potatoes, brown rice. There's plenty of more, but those are like the 4 main ones I personally stick to. When it comes to lean proteins, fish, whether that's salmon, cod, you got beef, ground beef, turkey, chicken. Chicken's the most common one. If you guys have been training for a while, you probably are suffering from chicken because you eat it so fucking much, just like I do. But anyways, those are examples of good lean proteins. Number 3. Alrighty, so basically this is a really big one for a lot of people, is trying to minimize your alcohol consumption throughout the week. Now, I'm not saying you need to quit drinking completely, because I know plenty of people who are in the gym, super consistent, they reach their goals, super consistent on their diet, but they have 1 day a week where they go out and party, drink, have fun, and that's completely okay. I myself will go out every here and there and party, there's nothing wrong with that, but it comes to a problem when it's multiple times a week.
or when you do drink, you completely get off your eating schedule. You know, you eat a crap ton when you're drunk, because when you get drunk, it actually increases your appetite. You guys probably all know when you're hammered, you literally want to eat everything you fucking see. But basically, alcohol is a gains killer, guys. Whether you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to build muscle, either way, it's not good, and it literally is counterproductive to your fitness goals. Reason being, like I said, it increases your appetite, but pretty much all the foods you actually consume while you're intoxicated, which is like, based on science, it's considered to be like 2 to 3 drinks, is when your body will start to do these things, such as convert all the food you are consuming into fat and process them as fat, which is not good. Decrease protein synthesis, decrease testosterone. You need both of those things to build muscle. And I know, girls, I know your dominant hormone isn't testosterone, but for you to lose body fat and or gain muscle, you need testosterone to do so. And it decreases all that for a good 24 hours after you drink, which isn't good. So let's say you work out in the morning and you go get absolutely shit-faced that night. I mean, I guess you could do it. I'm not going to sit here and say I've never, you know, went out on the same day I trained, because I have for sure. That's mainly because of the, you know, mental satisfaction of training, I guess. But it's pretty much counterproductive, because, you know, you train your body, you break down muscle earlier in the day, you put that stress on your body, and when you're not working out, everyone knows that is when your muscle is recovering. That is when your body's going to come back better and stronger for the next time you train. And you go out that night when usually you would be sleeping, and sleep is key for recovery. And you are consuming alcohol, you're getting drunk, and is literally decreasing all of that, which is pretty counterproductive to your gains or working out. So yeah, and especially for college students, I know you guys like to make an excuse. Oh, I got a darty, or yeah, dude, he's freaking tailgate, bro. Like, you guys can make the time, prioritize it. If it is, if it's that important to you, you will find the time, or you will make the time to, you know, have fun, but also stay consistent with your regimen. All right, number 4, you guys heard this many times. I honestly don't even really need to be saying it, but drink plenty and plenty of water. Unfortunately, a lot of people still don't get this. You should be consuming adequate amount of water every day, especially if you are training at a very high pace and level. H2O is critical for nutrient transfer throughout your body, hormone transfer. It is super key for pretty much everything. Helps protein, carbs, and fats get in your muscles. You know, on a day if you're lacking nutrients, no, not necessarily nutrients, if you're lacking H2O but you're consuming all the right foods, you know, you have your pre-workout meal, you go to the gym, your pump's not going to be that good. You're probably going to feel lethargic, feel like shit, because you need water and H2O in your muscles to have muscle glycogen to be able to have a good pump and have a good workout. So yeah, drink plenty of water. That's key just in general. Honestly, it's kind of common sense, but had to go over it, something you might forget. All right, number 5, we got, wait, fuck. Ugh. Oh, that's gross as shit, what the fuck? Alright guys, I'm back. I just did not want to have a bat in the cage while I'm on camera. That is pretty embarrassing if you ask me. But number 5, you must be doing a mixture of core... The fuck am I saying? Cut. Alright, number 5, you guys should be doing a mixture of cardio and weight training. I'll start with the weight training. The reason I mention this is because a lot of people have the misconception that you need to be doing an excessive amount of cardio to lose body fat. And that's not the case. Basically, the reason you need weight training is you need muscle to burn body fat, and weight training will help you maintain or gain lean muscle if you're a beginner, because it's very hard for an experienced lifter to gain an excessive amount of muscle and lose body fat at the same time. So when we're trying to lose body fat, we need to maintain that muscle. So try to maintain the muscle you have to lose body fat. So 1 pound of muscle at rest burns 6 calories. when a pound of fat only burns 2. So the more muscle you have, the more body fat and calories you're going to be burning. So weight training is there to help you maintain that lean muscle mass, also helping you burn calories when cardio is where you're burning the most calories, really cutting down body fat. So definitely a good mixture of cardio and weight training. If you're beginning and let's say you're hitting the gym between 3 and 4 days a week, and you're trying to lose body fat, I'd recommend 3 out of those 4 days definitely do some sort of cardiovascular endurance exercises. Another one that I like to talk about, so the types of cardio. A lot of people ask me, what should I be doing for cardio? Stair stepper, jump rope, running, long distance, sprints. So basically that's completely up to you guys how you like to do it. A lot of people like the stair climber. When I do cardio, I say fuck that. I don't fuck with that. It's boring. I hate it. I'd rather do sprints or high intensity work for like short periods of time. But basically science shows, and I did get this from Dr. Jacob Wilson from Diamondized Nutrition. He basically studies the sport of bodybuilding, which is pretty much maintaining muscle and losing body fat. He found that, and he did this on test subjects, so real people who train. He found that test subjects who actually endure long periods of cardio, 30 minutes to an hour worth of cardio a day, long durations, they found that those individuals actually lose more muscle and maintain more body fat cells than those of test subjects who actually do short periods of roughly like 10 to 15 minutes of high intensity, just balls to the wall training, of like sprints, you can do ladders, stairs, stuff like that. That's basically going to help burn more body fat and actually help you maintain more muscle. Alrighty, so I know I said 5 things, but I'm gonna go over one more thing you should be doing. Make sure not to stress yourself out. Like, if you're a beginner, start slow, reach out to people who are knowledgeable. Don't just ask anybody, because everyone has an opinion on everything, and the majority of opinions from people who don't work out that much or do work out but don't know what the fuck they're doing are going to tell you some bullshit. So reach out to people who know what the fuck they're doing to get your information. Please do that. Don't reach out to noobs. And then also have fun with it, guys. Start slow. Don't get hurt. And make sure you know what you're doing before you start. But in saying that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment below stuff you guys want to see in future videos. Like, subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post something. Please, it means the world. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.